Well, the one thing I can say about Gemini Man is I haven't seen it in 120 frames a second, but I'm assuming that's what makes this movie much, much better than it really is. What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Gemini Man, the newest film from director Ang Lee, and it stars Will Smith, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Benedict Wong, Clive Owen, and the very, very young CGI Will Smith. So before we get into the actual review, I thought I was going to see this movie at 60 frames a second in the 3D format. Apparently it wasn't. It was in the 24 frames a second format because this film was originally filmed at 120 frames a second, if that makes any sense. So I will be seeing that version, the 120 frames a second, when it releases on Thursday. So I will do a separate review just on that version of the movie, just to kind of compare the two. But for right now, I'm going to talk about this movie as the movie itself. So Gemini Man is the story of Henry, who is played by Will Smith. Will Smith is a marksman or hitman for hire, kind of like his character in Suicide Squad in a very interesting way. But he's a guy that's kind of just tired of it all. He's done things he doesn't that gives him nightmares. He just doesn't really have any drive anymore. And he wants to retire. He wants to have a boat. He wants to go fishing. He wants to just do all these things that normal people do, even though he's never had a wife or a kid. And so he wants to retire. But because this is a spy movie or an action movie, there's got to be some kind of dramatic tension, or the bad guys are going after the good guys, and that's exactly what's happening here. Basically Will Smith is a mark for hire, and he gets the mark, and he is being attacked by the CIA or whatever. And along the way, he meets the Mary Elizabeth Winstead character, who's completely useless in this movie. She has some of the worst dialogue in this movie. I feel bad because I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And Benedict Wong's in here, and I don't understand why he's in here. He's just kind of like the Q or whatever. But I, the problem like in this movie is it just feels so much like a 90s action film. There's no real structure to it. The dialogue's terrible. It just feels like empty space, and that to me is not what we've gotten in action films today. I didn't do a review on it, but Rambo's the same way, where just everything feels empty about it. It doesn't feel exciting. It just feels like noise, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways. But the action sequences, especially the motorcycle chase stuff, is pretty amazing. It does show that Ang Lee knows how to choreograph things, to film things. There's a lot of close-up motion in this movie where you really are like on the characters themselves, and that is some great stuff that Ang Lee has grown into doing, especially with Billy Lynn's Halftime Walk. But it's also a movie that you can really tell that needs that high frame rate, because the lighting in this is so unnatural at 24 frames a second. The way it's shot, it just feels weird. It feels off. The way the characters sit, if you really sit there and watch it like I did, you can kind of see the high frame rate running in the 24 frames a second. But it's just everything. I don't know. It's just really such a weird movie that I just didn't enjoy it at all. And I hate that. I hate when I don't enjoy something from a director I really do enjoy. But the main thing you come to ask and probably wonder is, how is the CGI Will Smith? And if you don't know, he is completely CGI, the younger version of him at least. I will say this, there are moments in this film where you're looking straight at the young Will Smith and you are like, holy cow, that is as realistic as it gets. But that's like 20% of the movie. They're like, when he's standing still, when he's facing forward, when he has like, the fire on him and stuff like that, it really does look real. The other 80% though is awful. It's probably because it needs to be seen at 120 frames a second or 60 frames a second or whatever, but it is ungodly bad. It is so bad how the CGI looks. There are moments where Will Smith is fighting Will Smith, and it looks like a Neo versus Agent Smith from Matrix Reloaded. It's unnatural. It looks like something out of Uncharted, a video game. Actually, that's a good way of explaining it. It looks like a video game character, and that doesn't fit into a live action movie. It just doesn't feel natural. There's points where this young Will Smith is walking or way he's talking, and it just everything feels plastic and goofy and just like rubbery, and how he's talking. when he cries, it just doesn't feel natural, nothing like that. And then when like Clive Owen hugs him, like you see in the trailer, it just feels like he's hugging just thin air in a lot of ways, and it just doesn't feel right. But I can't hate on Ang Lee for at least trying, because this is a huge step forward in what they want to do. I'm interested to see what James Cameron's going to do with the Avatar movies, if he's going to improve upon this tech. But like I said, maybe in essence, it's just a bland movie. Clive Owen's a stereotypical bad guy who doesn't really give us much, and the fact that this movie's kind of really about cloning and how bad cloning is, it doesn't even do that very well. It doesn't give you much to work off of, and like I said, that's what, if you like 90s action films, I guess you'll enjoy this. But go in knowing that everybody just doesn't do much, and even Will Smith just feels bored in this movie, and it just I don't know. I expect more out of Ang Lee, and the fact that Billy Ray was one of the screenwriters on this, I think David Benioff as well, kind of bothers me a little bit. I don't know if Billy Ray was a second draftsman or something like that. He wrote the second draft of the script. But actually, that was a good point. There's somebody I was reading a review on where they actually said this feels like a first draft, and it kind of does. It kind of feels like there's a lot of stuff they were probably wanting to add in, but because of what Ang Lee likes to do and how he likes to film and how he likes to treat things, maybe he wasn't worried about the script, and he wanted to get that first Will Smith fight. And like I said, the motorcycle stuff's cool, but other than that, it's not a very good movie. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a movie you probably could find on TV, watch, and enjoy, but yeah, when they go to the different locales, it just nothing exciting about it. So it's really disappointing. I'm really not happy. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, but it's becoming that kind of year where there's just movies just not entertaining. So but that's it. That's my take on the movie Gemini Man. Like I said in the beginning, I will do a review of the 120 frames a second, because they are doing a screening at one of the Dolby theaters down here where I live at, so I will let you know how that is. But at this point, that is my review of Gemini Man. So anyways, hit the subscribe button, join Movie Emporium, hit the notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next, and of course comment below on any video that you watch on my channel. But otherwise, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these two videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.